Well, I picked the banana bread because my daughter asked me to make this all the time. She's 2.5. But she likes to pour in all the ingredients, and she just likes to help turn on the mixer and things like that. So I picked this one because she wanted me to make it. She's 2.5 and very bossy. And I picked the lemon tartlets just because I thought they'd be fun for spring and a nice light little dessert. And I had a lot of lemons in my house. I first received a cookbook before I was ever in Charity League. My sister-in-law, Melissa Wilson, gave me one for a Christmas present one year and told me all of her favorite recipes in it to cook. And so my mother-in-law and sister-in-law both love to cook out of it, and I've learned to love some of the recipes too, I guess.
Awesome.
I chose the red, white, and green salad because Jeannie Frampton is the person who submitted the recipe, and it's about to be picnic season, and I think you need more greens, so bring that dish. I'm a current Charity League member, and I actually received my cookbook as a wedding present before I even joined, and what was really awesome is to thumb through it and see all the ladies in Paducah's recipes, and you can get them at Wagner's and Roof Brothers, or you can contact a Charity League member if you're interested.
Okay, I submitted this for the Time to Entertain, the latest Charity League cookbook, and it's Paducah's Best Peanut Butter Pie. I'm not sure about the best part, but that's what I titled it. I also helped write a little part of the storyline for the cookbook. So I picked this. This is a recipe that reminds me of a restaurant in Lexington, Kentucky, and my good friend Janie Kreiner, who's an outstanding chef, she was able to come up with this recipe on her own, and it tastes exactly like this restaurant in Lexington.
Oh, that's awesome.
It does. I don't know if Yozo's Bayou Gumbo, 20 years ago, Lexington, Cajun food, fast food, Cajun food, and they had, you know, chicken etouffee. You could go in, we tailgated with all their food at UK football games, and they always had this pie. And my pies look exactly like that. And I want to give a shout out to Artisan Kitchen for helping me out.
And then I'll talk about when I was a new cook. Like when we first got married, I had to cook down at the hunting lodge for all the hunters.
Oh boy.
And that was my first time ever owning a kitchen, so I kind of dove right into these cookbooks and was like trying to cook the easiest thing on there, but yeah, that's probably what I'll go with. Well, the Time to Entertain cookbook kind of first was introduced right before I began Charity League, so it was very interesting to me, like everyone has talked about with the Paducah, the history of all the Paducah ladies who've come up with these recipes. But the one tried and true one that we always have on hand when we have people over or we're going to a get together is the chutney cheese spread, which is so addicting, and it's just the thing you can't put down. So that's one of my favorites. But also it has saved me several times when we had the hunting lodge down in Ballard County, when we had 15 men show up to go hunting, and I had to feed them all. So the corn pudding recipe, I remember, was an absolute favorite. All the breads, the homemade breads, it was just a lifesaver for me. So
tell me, you were involved in which book?
Time to Entertain, and that was produced November 2000.
Okay, and what was your role and what did you...
I was food chair, and I had a committee that we all tested each recipe 3 times by 3 different people, just because we needed the difference of everybody's cooking techniques. It was a very long, drawn-out process. I had file boxes everywhere in my dining room, and as I was telling you, my favorite memory is we're all sitting at my dining room table, and my group, Mary Lynn Thompson, Ashley Shadow, several others, Debbie Powell, who would test recipes. They'd bring them. The food committee would sit. We'd taste them. We'd go through the recipe, how to spell everything, comma, everything was I's dotted, T's crossed, perfect. And in February, I'll never forget, I was pregnant and nobody knew it. and Ashley Shadowan bought in Fiesta chicken casserole. There were more Mexican casseroles in this food testing that needed to be while I was pregnant. So we're passing it around, and Mary Lynn Thompson, I'll never forget, is sitting to my left, and Ashley Shadow is sitting to my right. They passed it around, and I just politely got up and did, "Excuse me," and I went to the bathroom. Came back, and I sat down, and they're all looking at me at the table, and there was about 8 of them, and they're all like, "What are you doing?" And I finally did, "Girls, I'm pregnant." And they all went, "Oh!" And I did, "No, Ashley, don't ever bring another Mexican casserole until after 12 weeks." And of course, that was always the funny one, because the casserole that Ashley Shadow put in it was a casserole that she would send like the week or 2 before the mom had, our friends, we all bought casseroles before they had the baby. And especially if they were late, because it put them into labor. Well, Ashley, that was a good one.
Nice.
But we tested recipes, we had a ball, we had such friendships made. It was a long, enduring time, but we all had fun, and all of the Charity League members, even the associates, participated in all of the food testing. But it was a very long, drawn-out thing, and we have a fabulous book, and we hope that maybe the next generation will make a different cookbook. Because in this cookbook, when we did it, from the years past, there were a lot of casseroles, there were a lot of jellied moles and things like that. Well, we wanted to vacate the premises of that and go a little bit more modern, like not putting our names with the recipes. So if you didn't like it, you couldn't blame that person, I guess. But with that, we all agreed to that, and there was a little tiff, going, "Oh, well, we need the names, we need this." But no, we wanted it to be a little more modernized and things like that. But if you look at the old Charity League cookbooks, like Anna Webb Petter, which is, as we know, grandmother, they were handwritten, they were typed, and they had their names on them, and we cherish all the cookbooks that they have. So with the next generation coming, and with everybody being so healthy, maybe that's what they need to do, is a little more different than we did it, because they probably think we're the old people now. So this recipe is actually in Time to Entertain. It's the cheese grits, Better Than Gourmet cheese grits. Today I made them with cheddar cheese, but you don't have to do that. You can. My favorite is smoked Gouda. I use half and half. Some people won't use half and half, but I use half and half, and I use chicken broth. If you're going the vegetarian vegan way, use your vegan cheese, your egg substitute, and vegetable broth. That's all you have to do. And the butter, well, I put a stick in it. But you can get vegan butter. You can cook it creamy, or you can cook it into a grit cake. This is the honey mustard pretzel dip pork tenderloin. I usually grill it, but I baked it today just because it's not really nice outside. And then, of course, always serve it with cranberries or things like that. This is spinach salad, and that's it. It's your go-to Sunday night dinner.
I think that that's, for me, one of the most interesting and neat things about this cookbook is that it really is all over the state. I've gone into my friends, my sorority sisters' kitchens from college, and it's there, and then it's in my family's home in Eastern Kentucky, and I just think that that's really neat. And also, an interesting thing about the cookbook is that probably 3 or 4 years ago, for our annual banquet that we have every spring, we had it downstairs in the Irvin Cobb, and so we wanted to do a retro feel vibe to it, and so we decided that all the food was going to come from the older cookbooks, and that was really neat, and it was kind of fun to see how, maybe this is the food that they ate 20, 30, 40 years before we were here. Because that's the best thing about Charity League, is that it's just been around for so long, and it has such a rich history and all the special traditions, and yeah, I guess that's about it.
Perfect.
Man, I just loved
Yeah.
it. I just loved being in Charity League.
Okay, it was a wedding gift, and I really meant to go back and look in my wedding registry and see who gave it to me because I can't remember. But that was almost 38 years ago, and you can see how ragged it is. It's my Bible. It's my cooking Bible. It's my absolute go-to.
Okay.
And the recipe we enjoy today is the first recipe I ever made out of it as a new bride. I know. And we still enjoy it.
And when we first got married, literally I could make tacos and I could make ham and bean soup. And that was pretty much it. And Brian kind of got tired of it, so I started collecting cookbooks. And the 2 Charity League cookbooks that I had were just lifesavers for me. And Brian appreciated them too, so that we didn't have to eat tacos and black bean soup with the ham that we got each Christmas from work. So
You remember, we used to spend a lot of our time on the tennis court talking about recipes.
that's true, like right in the middle of the match.
Yes. Much to others' dismay, or
Yeah.
sometimes they'd chime in.
Yes. Didn't take our tennis too serious. What are you having for dinner tonight?
Really?
I'm getting
Yeah.
really hungry.
Because a lot of times tennis was at night, and
Yeah.
we talk about, what we left at home for
Yeah.
our families, or while we were out having fun, or what we were going to make when we got home, or
Yes. Absolutely.
somebody might say, God, I need a really good pot roast recipe, or whatever. We'd talk recipes at tennis.
And since Trish and I both enjoyed cooking, that was a common theme that we would talk about. And we do like to talk while we play tennis.
Yes, we do.
Very social. So I moved here in 1989, graduated from Murray State, got married, moved to Paducah all in the same year. That few months later, I started teaching at Clark School. So I was being new here. We didn't have a lot of friends, and after about a year teaching at Clark, somebody had asked if I would consider belonging to the Charity League. So I kind of asked the teacher that I was working with. She was my mentor. What she thought, and I ended up deciding to try it. And it was a great experience. I met a lot of neat people through the Charity League. A lot of hard work, but also a lot of fun.
Well, it was some of the hardest work I've ever done, but the most rewarding. We had weekly chores at the Charity League house.
You had to clean the house.
Yeah, we had to clean the house. We had to take, heaven forbid, you got stuck on the yard crew, which I did 2 years running. You had to be sure the yard got mowed. You had to trim it up. You had to rake it.
You had to go over there on Saturday mornings
Right.
at 6 a.m. to get ready for the bridge players.
Yes, every
Bridge players would
Saturday.
make the coffee, get the house ready.
A bridge club was there. And if it was your week to be on, you had to be over there at 6 a.m. and, like she said, get everything ready to go.
And then I think
And
we
then
had to
once a
clean
year
up.
we had that dastardly bridge luncheon where we all, it was a Christmas party for the people there was a regular group that played bridge there all the time, and we had to serve them lunch at Christmas. It was a Christmas party. And we all got assigned whatever the menu was. We all had a dish we had to make, had to bring it down there. There was a committee that served it. There was a committee that cleaned it up.
Lots of committees.
Lots of committees. The Charity League, and I think you'll agree with this, it was always 50 women, and I'm assuming it still is a membership of 50. It is a well-oiled machine.
Oh, yeah.
There's a committee for everything,
Yes.
and it just moves along like clockwork. But they raise a lot of money.
I think the hardest thing for me was the bargain fair, because you're
And that's coming
dealing-
up. I've got a
Yeah.
girl coming to my house today
Yeah.
to pick stuff
'Cause you're-
up.
Yeah, you're dealing with junk, yard sale
Mm-hmm.
junk, and it's dirty, and you're moving things, and you're pricing things, and you're. It was really,
Yeah.
really hard. And then the day of it, like people just, whew, and they just come in, and
It's
they're professional
huge.
yard sailors, and they come in and they're going through the things, and it's just, and you're on your feet all day. After you've already priced this, collected the stuff, priced the stuff,
Hauled it
hauled
around.
there, set everything up, and then you're on your feet all day. It's just like having a yard sale, but just times, 100. I mean, yeah, huge.
But if, to take all of that stuff and turn it into cash.
Yeah. And it did.
And then turn that cash into a gift to the Easter Seal Center or any of the other charities that they donate to. It just, everything we did was to make money to give away. Every single thing we did.
And the Follies was fun, but it was hard
It
work
was,
too.
but I would always tell myself you could do anything for 2 weeks.
Yeah, because here we're not singers, we're not dancers, and
No,
that's.
and that's what made it so much fun.
I would stand up in the choir and do Watermelon, Watermelon because I cannot sing, and so I would just go and just try to look like it. I preferred the skits because that's what
Yes.
that was my forte.
I preferred Cindy and Bo Jones' beer truck out there on the curb. You'd go do your thing, do your practice, go out to the beer truck. Go in, do your skit, go out to the beer truck. It was an old mail truck or
See, I don't
milk truck or
remember
something.
the
You don't. Well, see, Cindy was out by the time
Okay.
you got in.
I think we were just BYOBing at that point.
Well, yeah. So we just went out to
Behind
the car. There was some kind of rule about no alcohol on the school campus. I don't know what that
Yeah.
was. That was for other people. The first recipe I ever made out of that book.
So yeah, just say what it is.
And back then, Caroline Bennett's chicken. And the recipe reads where you have to, it says boil the chicken, boil the broccoli, strain it. But now with all the convenience foods we have, you can get a rotisserie chicken, you get the broccoli, you steam in the microwave, and you've got it in the oven in 15 minutes.
Yeah. And mine,
A beautiful thing.
I cheated and bought the mushrooms already sliced.
See,
But
I'm all about convenience
Yes,
foods.
but I did take the stem off the spinach and I did tear it's a spinach mushroom salad, and I did tear it into bite-sized pieces like the recipe said. And it was a lot better with the bite-sized pieces versus the big old
But the
hunks of-
stem is all the fiber.
Pick your teeth with it later.
Yeah. I am willing to bet that in every kitchen of every born and raised Paducah,
And some
Home.
not born. and
right,
raised, yes.
there is a Seasons of Time
Yes.
cookbook.
And it's a keeper. It's
It
very
is, it's a
good-
classic.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Not that jelly thing.
Oh God.
But that is a sign of how we eat has changed.
Right. Less
You know,
casseroles.
Right, and
Healthier,
less
yeah.
soup and just
Like me some
more fresh. I
casseroles.
know. That was always
Yeah.
well for the ones of us who worked.
Yeah.
It was a lot of
Easy.
peace of mind knowing that you had a casserole in the freezer to go home and throw in the
Right.
oven that you'd made, ahead sometime.
Crock pot was my friend too.
I'm telling you
Lots
what.
of crock pot.
Yeah, our cake pans, our 9-inch cake pans are actually different sizes. So,
You made 2 layers, I made 2
Yeah,
layers.
I made 2
and you didn't know
layers.
that 9-inch pans could be different.
right, we're learning so much.
Yes. But that we can make it. We made it for your husband's birthday.
We did.
Earlier this
Amy
week.
really bakes a lot. I don't. The only thing I ever bake is Grandma Lamb strawberry cake. So,
But that's because I like to bake.
Yeah.
I do like, and
And-
the kids help me bake,
yeah,
and they think it's fun.
she has the patience of a saint. My husband's family, the Warmoth family, are from Mayfield, and his maternal grandmother, Manon Lamb, it's her cake recipe. So every family dinner we have, somebody brings Grandma Lamb strawberry cake. So, and since they don't know that I'm bringing this Sunday, we might have 2 on Sunday.
And everyone will be happy.
Yes, everyone will be happy. And it's a very moist. It's special because she's going to be with us for every family outing then. And she was really a special person. So, very, very special. And I got in fall of '88. Yes, we sold cookbooks then.
And I'm membership chair, and we switched so that when the new girls came in, that they would not have to sell them.
Yeah.
They do a fundraiser now instead because no one was selling them; they were just buying them. And so we now raise money. Like they'll do a fundraiser instead, and it works out better.
Well, and I was treasurer, so I was not associate treasurer, I was that too, but the year before, treasurer-elect. And then that was our job. We were in charge of selling the cookbooks. So I actually went to Party Mart, to Gourmet Galley, and had to keep a running inventory, and keep an active count. I mean, we kept up with, that was before Toots Smith's money to Charity League. So every single dollar was really, really important for the Easter Sale Center. So literally, I kept up with every single book. It was a big deal.
What I did with several of the cookbooks is I picked out a recipe in each of them and got all the ingredients, put them together in a little gift basket with a cookbook tied to it. And that was our family and friend gift for the year, my first year in Charity League. So we have to sell upon coming into Charity League, which we're modifying that a little bit now, but you typically have to sell 10. I think that's right.
That's
right.
That's what it always was.
Yeah, so 10, and then that's your new member deal at $15 a piece. And so that's one way to do it. Like, that's why I did the gifts, because that made it easy. And then it's a requirement for every new member to do it. So most of the time the moms buy them, the grandmas buy them, and that's how the tradition really gets passed on too, because they end up in multiple generations through the sales.
I had to sell them too, but I gave them as gifts. I gave them as gifts, and I made everyone at my office buy them too.
Yes.
That is what you.
We've been doing
them.
Yeah, we've been doing them at some of our events. So Paducah Bluegrass Bash, we had a cookbook table, and that sold a lot of them. And we just basically had them set out along with the silent auction, and we had several people go and get them. So they are a legacy, because there was a little bit of a line for a while. And then we had an event at Dry Ground, and then we're getting ready to do Bargain Fair, and we've talked about having them out at Bargain Fair again too. So mainly just the events where we have a lot of coming and going. We like to put them out then too.
I don't have anything else to say about the cookbooks. I will talk about my recipe.
Oh yeah, talk about the
Okay. Because my mother was not in Charity League, but she's fixed this for as long as I remember. She fixes this punch. So now I have started having the holidays at my house, Thanksgiving and Christmas. So they love this punch. Our guests that we have, everyone loves it. So I mean, it's a joke. We call it Granny Peg's Punch, but that's not the name of it in the church. We call it Granny Peg's Punch. And this year I had it, and they're like, "Are we still gonna have Granny Peg's Punch?" So this punch is the bomb. It's awesome. So that's why it just it's a fun thing, and I'm sure it would be good if it had a little bit of a Granny Peg, a kick to it.
Kick, yeah.
Granny Peg does not add one, but I may add a little kick to mine.
Granny Peg might add one, not know.
Yeah, that's right. So yes.
Bethany sent me all the casseroles, which were several pages long, of the Seasons of Time book, and I picked one that was Italian, because that's usually what we like to eat around here. So pasta and Italian for sure. It's my mom, just about every holiday is making something out of there, and that's why I had the generation idea, because although I haven't gotten to a point where I've sat down and looked at recipes very often and cooked, she does for holidays, and she got that cookbook from me and she loves it.